Yeah, so good. That's good for you. Now, you know, but we've seen a lot of stores come and go. A lot of restaurants, as I say, come and go. Some others stay. You know, they make it the whole bit. So what's the difference? What makes one restaurant, you know, allows one restaurant to sort of make it, so to speak? People start, you know, the buzz happens. People keep coming. And other restaurants, they look good, you know, the whole 9 yards, but people just don't seem to. What's happening?
Okay, this is how I make money.
Okay.
Back in the days, about it had to be somewhere around 1987 or 88. I walked into this store in Manhattan called Cheap Charlie's.
Okay.
So I said, Charlie, I said, how do you sell a bottle of beer for 70 cents and everybody else is selling theirs for $1, $1.25? And he said, well, by the time they sell a case of beer, trying to make a 90% profit, he sold 5 cases of beer on a 50% profit. Okay. And that's the way I sell fish.
Okay. So you keep your prices lower than everybody
That's
else.
right. Yeah. Because you come there and get a whitey sandwich, it's 5 or 6 a piece of fish on a sandwich, and people ask for extra bread, take the sandwich apart, take it home, and feed a couple of more people with it. So that's how. And it keeps the same. It keeps the same people coming back, because the economy is bad. The economy is really bad, and you could come in and actually spend $5 and feed a couple of people. You could afford to eat there, you know, in these times.
Great story, great stuff.
But that is, I mean, you really got to think, you know, really long term as to, it's not just about making the initial profit, it's sustaining that over long periods of time. And so your approach and thinking makes so much sense. But the thing I thought was, you know, interesting about the comment you made about going into this particular store and asking the question is, you at 13 years old got the opportunity to go work in this, I guess it was a seafood place, okay, that you went into. What about your other colleagues and friends? What did they do? What were they doing?
Dropping out of school, drinking and smoking, something that they didn't. I never took interest in that. I was always playing the keyboards or working. You know,
okay, so you're a musician as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was playing the keyboards or working, but I've been selling the fish for a long time. That's working, staying out of trouble, having good parents to teach you things, good grandparents to keep you focused. It's what kept me focused and got me here where I am today.
You know, people talk about what they call resilience, you know, that ability to bounce back. And oftentimes you find someone, especially going into business, you know, they get knocked down, man, the business falls off a little bit, they just give up, you know. Have you ever gone through a period in your own experience where you had to be, you know, resilient and get back up off that mat and keep on going?
Exactly. When I had the store on 17th and Paxton and it caught fire and burnt out, I didn't have any insurance.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have any insurance at the time, so I could, everything was a loss.
Wow.
So I went back to work and saved up enough money to open up 21st and Derry. 21st and Derry, I had a lot of overhead, a lot of overhead. And the roof was falling in and water was coming all over the place, so I just had to let that go. It was just too much. So after that, I joined the laborers union.
Okay.
I joined the labor union, said I'm going to do this for 5 years, just enough to get vested, save up enough money, and get out. I did that. As soon as I got that 5 years, I was going. And it found me some property that I could, you know, pretty much manage. And that's what happened. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard to bounce back. If it's something that you want to do, you just go after there. If you're determined, you just go do what you have to do, and you go get it. But it wasn't a hard task. To answer your question, it wasn't hard bouncing back from falling down before, because this is my life and this is what I like to do.
Yeah, and it was your passion, right? I mean, you really wanted to do it. It wasn't like you were kind of on the fence. You really wanted to do this. So you did what you had to do, you know. Fantastic, good stuff.
That perseverance, I really appreciate you sharing that, because so many other people would just stop and say, I'm not going to go back and even pursue or finish this, and that you were determined. So one of the things you shared with us earlier, you do all the cooking.
Yes.
Yeah.
What if you're not there? No.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, wait a minute. That's it.
Well, when I went on vacation, all right, like the young lady I explained to you earlier, like when I went on vacation, you know, I had to write out all the ingredients, show everybody this is what goes here and this is what goes there. Unfortunately, I spent 5 days on vacation. I came back, I didn't have any customer complaints, so apparently they did the job right.
Right. Okay.
That's wonderful.
Okay. Now, did your wife cook? Did she?
No, my wife, actually, my wife makes the cornbread for Friday and Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Does she?
Yeah. So she works a full-time job, but it's also a full-time job with her driving with me back and forth to New York. I mean, we get tired twice a week. We get tired with the driving, and I appreciate having a wife that has my back, you know.
I'm surprised they don't have a system where, you know, a fresh fish could be delivered to you, or is that so expensive you just can't consider that right now?
Well, I'm trying to get there with a halfway point with New York and Hunts Point. Yesterday, I met them in New Jersey. Yesterday, I met them in New Jersey. So that cut back on some of the time.
Yeah.
But I'm working on that.
Okay.
I'm working on that.
And so even a place like Philadelphia, Baltimore I could see, yeah, because they had that, you know, port and everything. But Philly doesn't have anything?
No, to be honest with you, a lot of Baltimore trucks go to New York. New York, everybody comes to New York for reasons.
Okay.
We have the airport. A lot of those trucks, a lot of fish is imported. A lot of the shrimp, the red snapper, all the mahi comes from other countries and stuff on the plane right to the airport. So New York has just about everything. I've been dealing with New York for so many years.
Okay.
What I get for $1 in Baltimore, I get for 40 cents in New York.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So I could go to Baltimore and pay $60 for 60 pounds of whitey, and I could go to New York and pay $17 for 60 pounds of whitey.
Wow.
And that's because I've been doing business with them since Brooklyn, since I was working in New York. So
So one of the questions we always ask, especially when we're talking to local business people, is, so what's your long-term vision? Where would you hope to be 5, 10, 20 years from now with your business?
On vacation.
I understand.
Well, I would like to have, Sunday I was supposed to go to Lancaster look for a new store, but I got tied up. So I'm hoping to have a nice little chain of King Assad stores around, try to get up enough staff and teach people enough things to where I can try to operate a few more stores in a few different counties.
Well,
so that's what I'm looking for.
Franchising is kind of difficult, but franchising could be very lucrative, from what I understand. So is that the kind of thing you vision?
It can be depending on the types of fish that you're selling.
Okay.
Because sometimes you can't even get whiteys. Sometimes you can't get ling, period. You know, unfortunately, when you want to try to open up a franchise, you want to be sure that you can get those type of things that's on your menu all of the time. So you don't discourage people and upset people. So that's why it's kind of hard to try to run a franchise unless I'm going to just be selling things like tilapia and flounder and catfish. You know, that I can franchise easily because I have access to that all the time. But the porgies and the crocus, you don't have access to that all year long, all the time.
You live in a fairly, your business is in a fairly diverse area. I mean, the Hispanic population, a black, white population, Asian population. So do they all come?
Yeah, I'm glad you answered that question. When I first started over there on Derry Street, it was pretty much all an African American thing at the time. And then after about a year, you know, you had the Chinese and the Spanish and the Koreans in the meeting from you, and when they eat from you, you know you're doing a good job because a lot of times they, you know, pretty much stay to themselves and they stay within their culture, eat their own food, but they come. I have the diversity is there.
Beautiful. Okay, beautiful. You have to do anything special, or you just kind of, you know, it is what it is, and they come.
And with the prices on that menu, every day is something special over there.
It's the prices that drive them. I understand.
And the quality and the quantity of the food.
Yeah.
You know, we not cheap. We feed you.
Fantastic.